But it takes an awakening of the spirit within us to be able to see our true identity. All right, I brought a little diagram here. You ready? All right. This is you, coming into the world. A square. And what happens is when you come to the physical form, we get all lined up, get next to each other, and we're trying to fit in. You ever felt like somehow you just didn't fit in, but yet you were stuck because you had these corners, and you were there. You were squared. You were squared in, and sometimes the corners, because the points or the rough edges of it just didn't seem to fit in, and so you're constantly struggling trying to fit in. That's because you're focusing upon this square as the flesh. Okay, follow me? Now, sometimes we get kind of cornered into situations that we feel very uncomfortable, right? Huh? Yeah. That's the corner right there. And when we get cornered, things begin to heat up. You know why? Because that right there is 90 degrees.
Kind of middle in my finger.
90 degrees.
Kind of middle in my finger.
Well, inside the square is a circle, but you just don't see it because that is the spirit realm. The square is what we see on the outward, okay? And when you realize that you are really not the square, you're the circle, you say, hey, I've been framed. So here we are trying to fit in, and all of a sudden when we have this awakening, something miraculously happens. So here's what happens. Boom! We become the circle. This is a little magic trick. But here's the unique thing about this. The circle is eternal, right? And that's a representation of you. You are eternal. You have no beginning. You have no end. And you need to get acquainted with who you are. So a while ago, I know I've been here since I got here today, talking about our higher selves and the connection to our higher selves. And that's what this is. This is the real you. Now, I understand we have to live in these I call them spacesuits, the bodies that we have, into this physical form in the third dimension. But we're from a much higher dimension. That's where you came from. And as you open yourself up, and that's the key word. Whoops, hello. Open yourself up. We're going to move this a little bit. Can we? I'm going to keep coming back. I got more headroom. All right. This is, start thinking of yourself as a circle. And the reason why is because, see, there are no edges. There's a flow to it. In fact, you can hold it here and it moves over here. And move it here and over here. You know why it's doing that? Because it's trying to find a balance. Now it's balancing on my finger. Notice this? Folks, we all need to find balance within our lives. That's the problem. Because we're here in this world, if we play in the square, in the victim position, we feel like that we're being forced and pushed and shoved, and we're fighting with the contrast of the duality within this world. We got this over there and this over there, and I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I'm trying to fit in. Well, there's a balance. There's a balance. And when you're in the balance, there's movement, and watch what happens. Because, see, it's still in balance, see, even though it's moving. See, there's a movement that's going on. In the square, there's not much movement going on, is there? Yeah. Nope. So this is you. See yourself as this round, beautiful figure. This here is actually a reflection of your true being. Because I believe that everything is created out of the spiral. That's why I wear this on my neck here. It's the spiral. Everything is created out of the spiral. And if you look at nature, you look at outer space, you see the stars, you see everything is in a spiral form.